You down with BCP? The following content is intended for a mature audience, only viewer discretion. It's strongly advised.
Yeah. To the tune of OPP, minority by nature. No time for idle chitter chat and petty iterations. Teaming to me exponentially like I'm Barack's inauguration. Erratic calculations, nah, I runs the infinite. Only way I slow me down is with some calcing by a limit. They might no longer show the work, the answer self-evident. Some truth should be proclaimed in the Declaration of Independence. Things not instantaneous can be approximated by adding up our changes till everything integrated. Word to my partners in calculus. Yo, you down with BCP? Yeah, you know me. You down with BCP? Yeah, you know me. Integral, grind exponential. You down with BCP? That's the way we rotate radiannually. You down with BCP? Down with BCP? You down with BCP? You down with BCP? That's the way we do things limitlessly. Yeah. You down with BCP? Yeah, you know me. You down with BCP? Let's blow. Switch the flow. You down with BCP? Down with BCP? You down with BCP? You down with BCP? That's the way we do things limitlessly. Yeah. You down with BCP? Yeah, you know me. You down with BCP?
I know you guys love my dancing, you crazy bastards. What's going on tonight, man? It's another. Every time I look up, it's Thursday. It's like, oh, it's another show. What a great time to have fun. And we have a great guest coming on tonight, Glynn Morgan, our longest tenured guest. Man, he's been on here like I lost track of the amount of times that the amazing Glynn Morgan, formerly of NBC Sports Chicago, has been on our show. And Glenn's got a lot of stuff going on in his life now, too, that we can talk about when he joins us. But we are done PJ now because he is gone for the remaining of a good portion of the season's show due to his coaching, and God knows where the hell Foster is at. So hope he's doing well. And then of course we got Carl leaving me. There you go. And Carl and I have been doing some gaming and playing each other on the new Madden and putting it on members-only content for all you members who give a damn about that. I hope you enjoyed that because I got my ass kicked by him last night.
More important than that, really special shout out. Again, I hate to frame it like this. It's really easy to make that stuff, man. I mean, Dan's literally on his couch just gaming. I'm handling the recording, but I'm sitting in the same spot where I record the podcast, where I do my actual in real life work, where I have my playtime, so to speak. I mean, it's easy to pump that stuff out, and I really hope that you guys enjoy it. Guys like Relentless Mikey, Clip Victoria, I think I saw Dave S. made a comment this morning. Any sort of feedback that you guys have for that, please share that with us. I greatly appreciate the comments that we've gotten up to this point. The entire idea is just constructive criticism. We know it's a raw product.
Yes.
There was a huge increase from the first day to the second day. I got the youngster to my on the left-hand side of the screen, right? That away? No, that away. Got that young man on Discord, fixed the audio. Now we just gotta get the playbooks, the X's and O's, huh?
Yeah, and I got to get over you running the same damn play every single time.
Yeah, I mean, over and over. I mean, you watch me run the same play. I watch Jervon Dexter have the same slow get off every single play. Some things never change, man. I know Glenn loves that.
You just kept running the same fucking play over and over again. And I kept trying to stop it, and sometimes I did, and most of the time I didn't. God, it was pissing me off, but not in a bad way. We were having fun, and I could care less if I lose a game. I realized this. I used to be really good at Madden back in the day. No, Madden 95. Back in those days. And now I suck dick when it comes to playing Madden. I am terrible.
Hey,
I am awful.
I'll do my best. There's going to be a day where, the chat hears us and they're hearing the words, but they're not seeing it. They're not feeling it, so they're not going to care. But if I gave you a taste, right? Like, you could say, oh, I don't drink pop. Pop's bad for you. It's going to rot your teeth, this, that, the other. One sip. You get one sip, you might fall in love with it. So I'll get some nice clips of you juking me out with DeAndre Swift and Luther Burden. I won't let that get lost in translation. I'm gonna hide the score too, because the score, in my opinion, it doesn't matter. It's all about having fun. The only thing left I have to say about all that is, if you guys are playing Madden yourself and you're having fun with it, I don't know if you're a head-to-head demon. If you're on Madden Ultimate Team, I doubt it. There's something called Connected Franchise Mode. If you have the game, take a peek at it today, look it up, maybe look up a YouTube video, see if it looks any sort of fun to you. Because I have a feeling that instead of playing against the bot, if there was a franchise with me, Dan, Cliff Victoria and his son, Relentless Mikey, John S., whoever, Jason UK Bears, whoever has a PlayStation and wants to join us. Honestly, whoever has Madden, I think it's cross-platform. I think it would be so much fun if we could just kind of mash everyone together, have a conglomerate of just having fun, and see what happens. Darius Craven, I'm talking to you.
Unfortunately, you guys are stuck playing either Carl or myself because we have the device that we can stream it to StreamYard to, if we do live or do members only content, and then you're gonna kick my ass and then maybe lose to Carl.
The caveat, and I hate to speak on this because I really don't know what I'm talking about, but in theory, what should be able to happen is that all these other guys should be able to play against either a computer or another player, and we progress it week by week. I think the easiest way to do it is just on Monday, I'm advancing the league, or whatever day we decide upon, right? Maybe Saturday is the last day, or Sunday morning. And on Saturday, got two options. We'll record one of us, whoever's playing that week, right? Maybe we could even do a chat poll, right? Do you want to see Carl versus Relentless Mikey? Right. Do you want to see Dan versus Chad Spieger? Whatever it is.
Johnson, yeah.
That would be a lot of fun, and everyone else doesn't necessarily have to be recorded because you're still playing a game, you're still participating, right? So that is an option. The other option, and I hate to bring this up because I haven't even talked to Dan about this, I could find a way to just live stream it. Couldn't use StreamYard.
Right.
Could find a way to stream it, and maybe the members only would be the viewers being able to participate in the chat. The entirety of the world on YouTube would be able to view it. So it's all in flux. Oh, look at this. Breaking news, everyone. Okay. Mr. Glynn Morgan, whoever that is.
Okay. Excellent.
Now, we've opened up Pandora's box, everyone. Wow.
Oh, I love this idea. When I came up with it 2 years ago and never knew a way to do it, and then you introduced the way to do it because that's why you're the producer of the show, man. You've got
Here's what I'm going to produce. This is effectively a super chat in my eyes. let me one more time.
What? No super chats?
I mean, John asked with the banger right off the start. 10 minutes into the show, he asks, "What's up, guys? Did you retrieve any of Carl's kicks yet? If you know, you know. Shout out John S." Oh my god.
Yeah, you did not know how to kick the ball at all in that last game.
And guess how much I've practiced since then. I might not practice. I might only play the game recording. I might not practice at all at this point. Catch up. I'll let you guys catch up, right?
Awesome, man. Well, let's get to our chat and let's bring our amazing guest on. One of our best friends of the channel.
Let's do that. I just don't want to get lost in translation. I'm starring your comments tonight, everyone. Scrolls just downloaded Madden. Obviously, Glynn Morgan. Trapakeepa just downloaded the new Madden. What are you guys doing? Are you scared of BCP? Or I thought you were down with BCP. I think you got something cooking.
I should change this banner to hold on. Let me change it to if you want to play us on Madden, email us your PS5 handle there we go. And then let me go. Where is it? How do I do this? Oh, save. There we go. Add banner. There we go. If you want to play us on Madden, live on a show or for a members content, please email us. Give us your handle. We will subscribe. We will follow your handle on PS5. Mine personally is Shorty74, SCIORTY. Or I'm sorry, Mr. Shorty. Mr. Shorty at Mr. SCIORTY. And follow me, I'll follow you back. Let's game on. Sounds like Glenn wants to play with us too. So that's gonna be amazing.
If you guys have a PlayStation account, drop your gamer tag in the chat. if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation, I think we could do a connected franchise cross-platform. And I think what we'd have to do is have your EA account username. Is that synonymous with your gamer tag? Potentially, probably, maybe. I don't know. But we'll figure it out. I'll help figure it out, do whatever I can, because at the end of the day, I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
What's your handle? What's your handle? I'm putting it in the banner.
It's on the screen right next to my name there, Vitality.
Vitality.
I'll put it in the chat for you guys to add me.
There we go.
And I'm no good,
Mr. Shorty.
Yeah, the scrolls, absolutely. You're on PC, but can still play against consoles.
There you go.
For this connected franchise mod that I speak of, I'm assuming I'm going to run it. I just have to make sure that cross-platform is enabled, which that's literally toggle. That's very, very easy.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure it happens.
Wait, definitely. Let's get to our chat tonight because we got to get Glenn on here, man. We have to talk to Glenn. I'm itching to talk to Glenn. He's my favorite guest of all time. 18 Benjamin Williams, thank you for joining us tonight. Jerry is Craven, thank you for joining us tonight. Cliff Victoria, one of our members, our longtime members, getting access to that members content of Carl kicking my ass last night. I hope you watched it and enjoyed it. Mr. Mayhem. What can we say about Mr. Mayhem? Here every single damn week from day one. You are the man, Mr. Mayhem. Thank you for joining us tonight. AC Adam is hopping in with us tonight. I also invited King Buka World to join us tonight. I sent him the link. Maybe he'll join us. We'll find out soon enough. But Scrolls hopping in. Thank you for joining us tonight, Scrolls, and John 3316, I should say. Awesome. Thank you for joining us tonight. Trappakeeper. Whoa, good to see you again tonight, my man. By the way, Scrolls, thank you for being a member of the channel. You're getting that content that you watched my ass get kicked last night in members content, and so is John S 3316. But Trappakeeper, man, that's awesome to see you in here, man. It's been a while. Great to see you back in our chat tonight. Tony Moy hopping in with us tonight. Thank you guys. Thank you, Tony. R. Lee, I think he's from across the pond. He's always in the British Bears show. So thank you for joining us tonight, R. Lee. And I don't see any newbies happening, but there will be more as the show progresses. I guarantee that, because this chat blows up. Carl, you want to get to our guest tonight?
Yeah. I think if there, and I say this with respect as much as I can on both sides, if there is one individual we could choose to replace PJ with, and we can't replace PJ, it'd be Glynn Morgan. So without further ado,
I wouldn't say PJ. I'd say Foster.
Yeah, sure.
PJ is relentlessly here unless he has to go coaching. But Foster, he just fucks us off like he just did tonight. Just no regard.
We'll start Glenn off with a hot and heavy question. Glenn, do you have a coffin and do you use it?
No, I don't have a coffin.
Fantastic. You're out to a good start.
And I don't even want to ask why you asked that.
Well, because
you'll have to ask Foster one day.
Because Foster sleeps in a coffin every night. He's a vampire.
Foster's been alive for over 800 years. That's the guess anyway. So
That's fair.
Glenn, man, how you doing tonight? It's great to see you again.
Good to be seen. And I'm managing. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it as always.
Man, you are, like I said, our longest tenured guest. I don't even know how many times you've been on the show. We become friends. We talk off the air, and you're just a great guy and a good friend now, and really appreciate that from you, man. And I'm glad everything is going well. Considering in your life, there's been some stuff. I've had some stuff. We've all had some stuff, but you're doing well tonight, so that's good.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, and clearly I need to get out more. So
no, I need to get out more. Like I literally sit here for like 10 hours a day, and I go eat. And then I go sit on the couch and I watch TV until I pass out, and then I go to bed, and then I start the whole thing all over again. And now I go, oh shit, it's Thursday again.
And then as Dan's falling asleep, I call him. We play a game of Madden for an hour, and Dan watches me run the same play over and over and over.
Yeah.
And then he yells, and then he passes out.
Well, no, then it's 1:00 in the morning. I'm like, you still want to play another game? You're like, no.
This is true. That's not a lie. That's not a lie.
Yeah, well, I'm of that same ilk, so I'm a big
Yeah.
college football person. But I just got the recent Madden, and some guys that I hang with, they're about to do a Madden league. So I'm at least in one Madden league, and I run a college football league with 10
There you
people.
go.
So,
So you'd be interested in joining ours?
sure, I'm all for kicking everyone's ass. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm all for playing.
Okay, yeah. Well, I got my ass kicked last night by Carl, so I'll be happy to get my ass kicked by you.
We're pretty intense when we do ours. We do the whole fantasy draft and everything, so that
There
no
you
one
go.
has an unfair advantage with a powerhouse team like the Rams or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not into the fantasy stuff, but
No, you just pick from the pool. That's all. It's just all the players in the league.
I'd be picking all the Bears players though.
Yeah.
That's why I can't play fantasy sports. I'd be picking Caleb Williams. I'd be picking
If he's
DeAndre Swift. Yeah.
Glynn, are you talking about a fantasy league in Madden or
In
college
Madden.
football?
No, in fantasy league in Madden, yeah.
Okay, so can you give us a really quick breakdown on that? I mean, does everyone have to be present for that draft, or how does that look? What's that process look like?
You don't have to be, you don't have to be present, but you'd probably want to be present so that you can at least get the players that you want. And generally, we go about maybe 24 to 26 rounds. We don't do every single player, basically just enough to get your first, your first
Starting offense, starting defense.
Exactly. Maybe a special teams guy, whatever. And it's snakes. It's like a snake draft. So if you're picking first and you're picking last on the way back. And basically we'll have someone pick the names by your name by random to see where what team you have.
Seeding.
But the seeding, but the computer does it anyway, so you'll find out where you're at. Basically, it's just to pick what team you have. Usually, we'll have. It all depends on how many people we have. I think this year so far we just have 6 for the Madden, so there'll be 3 people in one division in the AFC and 3 people in one division in the NFC. And they're all in the same division, of course. And so that way you have your head-to-heads. And then, you play the computer. You're not playing head-to-head. And then, hopefully everyone can make the playoffs. And then, you get to the playoffs, get to the championship, that whole thing, NFL Super Bowl and all that kind of stuff.
So six guys in about a 26-round draft.
Yeah,
how long
give or
does something
take.
like that take?
Maybe no more than an hour, if that.
Wow, really?
This is an interesting development.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sure.
Never knew about this.
Glenn may be prophesizing a future BCP live stream. I'm unironically saying that. So that's cool.
Crazy.
I want to say we've had as many as 12 at one point. That's a little bit tougher because everyone's schedule, real life gets in the way. But usually 6 to 8 is optimal when it comes to like a Madden league. 8 is, to me, is perfect because you have 4 people in one division, so everyone at least plays each other, 3 times, or you play each other twice.
So you pick the teams with a purpose,
right? So it'll be all the teams.
You don't, because you can have 8 players and have 8 separate divisions, and
Yeah,
you can
no,
kind
we're
of
not-
hide from each other.
Yeah, no.
I
We
like the sound of this.
want some head to head, so that so that way, like it'll be the AFC, North, and it'll be the
Very
NFC
interesting. Yeah.
North or whatever it is. Whatever, I think that first season, whatever 2 divisions cross conference wise meet. So I think, for example, I think the Bears play the AFC East this year. Is that where the Bears play?
We got the Jaguars. We got the Buccaneers.
so
I don't know if we're doing the NFC South.
No, AFC. It's
No, we are because we put the Falcons because the Falcons are coming here. I have Falcons season.
AFC.
Oh,
Who do the Bears play in the AFC? What's the division the Bears play in the AFC?
Well, I don't think we're playing the Colts or the Jaguar or
It's
the
the East.
Texans.
It's the East. I think it's the East. Miami.
The AFC East.
Miami,
Yeah, we
Jets,
absolutely are going to Buffalo
Buffalo,
on Saturday
New England.
night. That's it. Yep.
No, Buffalo,
Yes.
New England. So it's AFC East. So
Yes.
So for example, 4 people would be in the Bears division. 4 other people would be in the AFC East. And then that first season, you're going to at least play one person from that other conference. Actually, you play all.
Yep.
Just so Dan is very well aware of what Glenn is saying, this has nothing to do with the football players. It only has to do with the teams.
Yeah.
No, it's we're just picking the teams. Teams are just a shell. We do the fantasy draft, and then you fill out your team.
Yes.
So your Bears are not going to look like the Bears
Right.
at all.
So whatever in that scenario, whatever poor soul gets stuck with the Packers isn't using the Packers, so to speak.
And the players come from the league that you're playing in, right?
The NFL. They come from the entire pool of the NFL.
Right,
You pick them in a snake draft, right? So Dan has the first overall pick as, I don't know, the Lions. He's still going to pick Caleb Williams.
Right.
Then I'd be next on the clock as the Vikings, and I would pick Jahmyr Gibbs, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I could get into that shit because it's not real football. It's gaming football.
Yes.
That's what I hate about fantasy.
Objectively, I would want to figure out a strategy that doesn't involve the Bears or the Packers or anything like that, but still has those 2 versus 2. You know. Last question for Glynn.
Sure.
How does the league proceed? Is it what I explained a little bit if you were listening to me, where you essentially have to manually advance the league week by week, or how does that go?
Well, if you have a game, if you have a head-to-head, you play that. If not, you just play the computer. Once everyone's got their game in for the week, probably the commissioner advances it. Or sometimes with these games, like in college, you can fill out that you like a check mark, like I've done everything I need to do for this week, and then the game may automatically go ahead into the next week once everyone is done, or the commissioner can override it, and just once everyone's game is done for that week, just advance it. And then the other thing is that it's because it's fantasy or because it's franchise, the next year you just keep it going, and you've got draft picks to come in and all that stuff. You got free agency, and everyone's bidding against that. So you do all those machinations are involved. Okay. So you keep it going. So usually we do about maybe 3 seasons in usually before before the summer rolls around, everyone's like burned out.
Okay. Yeah, I guess let's say I was pretending to be the commissioner. I think that I would be more than happy to check it at some point once a day, every single day. If everyone's got their games, I'll just simply advance the league. My fear is, how do we keep it on a consistent schedule to where, I'll use me as a scapegoat. I've had explosive diarrhea for literally 10 days straight. I cannot get on the game. I cannot play my game of Madden this week. How do you overcome that? Well, it sounds like you would just simply advance the league and see what happens. I don't know.
Well, it all depends on how, resolute everyone wants to be. I mean, more times than not, in the past, we'll have say, hey, try to, if there are no head-to-heads that week, 3 days for everybody to get their games in. If there's some head-to-heads, then maybe 5 to 6 days. Yeah. But then life gets in the way. Sometimes people work. They may have to go out of town because of their job or whatever. It's just let everyone know. So, so you're not, just sitting there waiting and not know what's going on. But generally, people are pretty good about it, and they keep it going. Stay away from the lunch.
I literally had Taco Bell for lunch, just for the record. So
you'll have to text me your PlayStation handle, Glenn, because we should play each other on Madden. I would love to play you on Madden.
Yeah, you know what?
I should say get my ass kicked by you on Madden.
I don't know. I just talk noise. You guys probably beat me.
I'll let you two.
No, I get my ass kicked by everyone I play. No, I'm a fucking loser on that game.
I'll let you two figure out the when. I'll help Dan with the how as far as capturing the gameplay and producing it as members-only content. So again, awesome. we've been talking about this Madden stuff for 25 minutes. I have no more questions regarding that. Dan, Glenn, the floor is yours.
I want to say to Chad Spieger.
Yes, thank you.
Another good friend for being a member for 19 months. BCP for life. 19 months, insane, man. That's a record, man. Thank you. You're right up there with all the top, man. Thank you for being a member of the channel for so long, Chad, and great to see you tonight. I hope you are well. Scrolls also just committed to being a member last week as we were talking about doing all this, right? And so we gained a couple new members talking about what we're going to be doing for the members' content, and and then of course our special guests. And Glenn is just the man. Francis Enos Russo, man, thank you for joining us tonight. Nobody cares about your diarrhea.
Glad to be loved. Glad to be loved. Glad to be loved, everyone. Thank you.
24 minutes in, do you guys want to start talking about the Bears?
I think Glenn does.
Yeah, sure, I think you do. Go. I think you want to steal. You want to steal the show again, talking about the Bears. I know you do. I'm gonna let you go, man. What do you think about all of the fucking injuries? I mean,
well, hold on.
Wait. Let me finish. When I think about a team that wins the Super Bowl or is in contention for it, it always comes down to you have to have the luck on your side as far as the plays to go your way, and yada yada, and then the injuries, the lack of, and the 2006 Bears were one of those teams. We've seen a couple of those. 2018 was one of the, even last year, we still had a lot of injuries and we still made it that far, but we couldn't get as far enough because we didn't have all of our guys that were like, Gordon came back too late and he was like struggling against the Packers and getting, called out. And then against the Bills, he played better. But when you start to see all this happening this early in the season, it's very worrisome to me. Go ahead, Carl.
I was just going to say, I mean, we're in the micro because that's where we live on this show every Thursday. And you've been blessed by being able to have that line of communication with Glynn. I have not. I almost want to hear Glynn's kind of end of the 2025 season, how he feels, and take us through this journey to the point we're at now, kind of the draft, everything that, whatever you want to get off your chest. Simply put, the floor is yours.
I don't have much to get off my chest, but to answer your question, Carl, as far as what I felt about 2025, I mean, for me personally, and this is, again, we're talking like half a century plus of being a Bears fan and watching Bears games and being a fan of NFL and college football in general, it was one of the most enjoyable seasons I've ever experienced. And I was actually able to just sit back as objective and doing these things and talking, on these different platforms and having to be, objective and looking at things, in a neutral manner. I just sat back and enjoyed being a fan last year, and it was fantastic. I'll tell you what, at some point, I want to say it might have been maybe between the Giants game and the first Green Bay game, I was good. They didn't have to do anything else for me the rest of that season to tell me where they're going to be going. I could see that, this is something, this is what I've been waiting for pretty much my entire life. Like, this is going to play forward for some time. And so even with that first loss to Green Bay, I'm like, no problem. You give me this. I could take this every week. It's all good. It was enjoyable. It was entertaining. Yeah, edge of the seat, but still entertaining. And going forward after that, it was just gravy. It was just like, man, this is awesome. And you're seeing the development of all these young athletes, and you're seeing a coaching staff work real time. And problem solve real time, something that I haven't seen. Even going back to the Ditka days, they didn't problem solve like these guys were problem solving. So all that was enjoyable. And so, they lost to the Rams. Okay. I mean, the Rams almost lost to the Panthers. So I don't know what to say in that regard, but the Bears there was a certain fortitude that they, displayed that was something unique. You see it from some other teams throughout, the annals of NFL, where you had the cardiac kids were I think the original, like the Cleveland Browns with, I think Brian Sipe was a quarterback, and they were like comeback kids. And then Harbaugh, Captain Comeback with the Colts, so every now and again you have a team that has this miraculous run. And here we are in Chicago having something like that, but even better than what those guys did, because you could tell it wasn't just a one-season thing. It's just the beginning of something. So leading into the draft, I'm sure there were a lot of clear, areas where Bear fans were like, okay, we need defensive tackle, we need edge rusher, we might need a left tackle. Everyone's thinking all these things in there for the first pick to be a safety. I was good with it because I actually thought the first pick was going to be a safety. I didn't think Thieneman would be there. I actually thought the Vikings would take him. I was looking for the young man from Toledo. I thought he might be the one that the Bears would take. He ended up going to the Browns later on. But I thought safety was a position because of who they let go and where they could probably have someone make impact based upon where they were drafting. I didn't feel good about a lot of defensive linemen coming out as far as maybe after the first 10 or 15 picks. Same thing with the edge rush. They weren't really.
Sorry to cut you off. The Vikings sure felt good about a defensive tackle, which is really mind-boggling because they could have had the regeneration of Harrison Smith, but the Bears ended up with him.
Well, and the guy they took has still got foot issues. I think he's practicing, sporadically. So, and that's, everyone finds things, and I get that. Every team, it may not fit what we think, but it may fit what they think and what they feel they need, and I understand that. And that's no different than any team in the NFL. But with that being said, with the Bears, I thought safety was a position that they would target in the first round because I thought that was something that they could be the most impactful position coming in, but also be buoyed by the players around him in terms of the veterans, secondary members around him as well. And so they did. They picked Thieneman, and I think after that it was like, what are you doing? It's like,
Right.
what's going on? Really? Another tight end, huh?
I'm glad you're objective about this.
No,
It's so
no.
easy to be this glass half full. Like, hey, we got another Cole Kmet, guys. Well, last
No,
year that guy
you
was
got-
Theo
you got-
Benedict.
You guys are crazy because
No.
the second pick was Logan, and I was like, we
No,
need a
those-
center for the future, and I was calling for him, and when we drafted him, I was ecstatic on our live draft show. I was like, I can't believe they got the guy that I wanted, and he was still there.
Yeah,
And then they went and then they went tight end, and everyone went, oh, and I went, are you fucking kidding me? Yes, we a perfect 13 personnel. And by the way, we got Hayden Large from Iowa. Any offensive, defensive lineman / tight end from Iowa, sign me up, baby, as a UDFA. And he's what about? Let's talk about 14 personnel with Manungai in the backfield in a single back set. Let's talk about that, dude.
I'll say this: as the draft kept going, into the next couple of days, I took a moment. I took a moment. I stepped back. I stepped back from myself a moment. I said, okay, like what? Why are they doing what they're doing? What's going on here? And then I was like, we'll see what happens, because last year the players they picked for the rookies to do what they did. I mean, they didn't just contribute; they were integral to the team's success, especially the ones on offense. It's just unbelievable how much they were leaned upon and depended upon. So I'm like, okay, so Ben Johnson, he has an idea. At least he knows what he wants. It's purposeful. So I'm like, okay. And so here's the one thing that I thought the Bears needed. They needed someone to take the top off. They needed someone explosive. And I thought they would go for more of a long-limbed receiver. I thought they might go with some height, someone to kind of mirror what they have in Jameson Winston over in Detroit. And so I'm like, okay, he's really trying to do a lot of what he had in Detroit in terms of having certain player personnel in place to do the things he wants to do. And so then the tight end made a little bit more sense. I'm like, well, okay, you help with a little depth in case one of those two go down, so you can still maintain your 12 personnel, but you could go 13 personnel. I'm like, I remember when the Falcons went to the Super Bowl last, and they played a lot of 13 personnel, and they were destroying people. I mean, that offense was Kyle Shanahan had a great job. I don't know what happened to him the last 5 minutes of the Super Bowl, or the last quarter of the Super Bowl. But prior to that, they were destroying people. I'm like, this offense may be able to be as effective as that offense was, but maybe even more explosive, because our tight ends are more athletic and faster than those tight ends were. And the running backs are kind of similar to some degree. And the quarterback is much more athletic and, a little more dynamic in ways. So that started to make a little more sense to me. And then when they got the young man from LSU, I was like, you know what? That's the guy that, because he's not your typical slot receiver in terms of size. He's actually kind of like a rocked up running back. He's about.
I was just about to ask you if you've seen the comparisons and if you'd call me a crack pipe for comparing him in any facet to Jahmyr Gibbs, because from a physical standpoint, they're almost identical.
Yeah.
Come on, Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. He now I'll say this: it's different being in the backfield and running. Your vision has to be different. So he's not going to be a running back in that respect, but he is someone that you can leverage him in terms of figuring out what the defense is doing, put him in motion, put him in the backfield. There's so many things you can do so you can get the mismatch. And whether or not you use them, you can dictate to the offense to the defense, as opposed to being concerned with the defense maybe trying to do to you. You got the defense on his heels, just in terms of just formations and scheme wise, let alone what he can do explosively once he gets the ball in his hands. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then getting the cornerback from Texas, I was like, that's Dennis Allen thing. He likes long limb cornerbacks. I'm like, okay, you're replacing a Sean Wright with someone similar with a little more upside. Okay, I can see that. I was still concerned about the edge rusher, still concerned about the lack of a defensive tackle, and even getting the young man that got the South Africaner from Georgia Tech. We'll see what happens. I'm not banking anything on him per se.
That's the first thing you've said in about 35 minutes. I disagree with you, but please continue.
I'm not against it. I'm just not banking anything at this point in time, because
there's
a lot he has to learn still in terms of just learning how to play the game. There's so much he has to learn, even if he would still remain in college, let alone at a professional level where there's a lot more nuance to playing that position that he needs to learn. And there are guys in front of him that are going to just be better in terms of knowing what to do before he does. But that being said, I don't see any reason why he can't be someone that could be someone down the line. When I say I'm talking about this year, I don't expect much from him this year. If he's playing this year, that means that's a lot of guys got hurt if he's playing this year.
A little premature to say that we've got the Mongo 2.0 in our hands, huh?
Very, very much premature.
You talking about Vandenberg?
Yeah.
Well, I sure hope you're back next week, Glenn, because you got a football game in about 3 days time, Saturday noon.
Yeah, I don't put a lot of stock in preseason.
We'll talk after. We'll talk after Saturday.
Dude, Vandenberg.
We'll talk after Saturday, Glenn.
I don't put a lot of stock in preseason.
What about the 3 years in Javon Dexter? Because I put a lot of stock in that, and I know exactly what I have with that player. Nothing.
Javon is not going to be anyone's all-pro player, but sometimes you just need to have a guy that is a guy until you can find somebody else that can play and be better than him. And right now, there are a lot of things that he can do that may not show up statistically, but you depend on. And that's occupying space, his athleticism, his length. And I think here's the thing: a guy like him, if he has someone better next to him, I think you'll see Javon be a little bit better player. And he hasn't had that consistency at all. And that inconsistency next to him makes it very difficult for him to be able to maintain, or I should say maintain. It makes it difficult for him to be able to become the best version of himself. It's kind of like learning how to play and not being able to lean on anyone who has the experience. Because again, he's not a first rounder. So
Javon Dexter was a second round pick. He was drafted, actually, in my opinion, pretty high. I haven't gotten a chance to compile an official statistic on this, but I would feel like it's really fair to say that the most competitive rosters in the NFL that are making the playoffs year after year after year, the bulk of their football team, the meat and potatoes, is compiled of their day 2 draft picks. Round 2, round 3.
Yep.
Those picks are not nothing. Ask the guy.
That's the sweet
ask
spot.
the guy to my side, not named Glenn, what he thinks about third round picks and the compensatory picks.
Sweet spot.
Please don't go on a tangent there. All I'm saying is,
right.
Javon Dexter, in my opinion, should be considered a quality NFL starter. I think he's the furthest thing in the world from that. And at this point, I would also say he is a veteran. I think with 3 years. I just made a tweet about this. 33 starts. Javon Dexter is a veteran in today's NFL.
So what do you expect from statistically? What are you looking for? Are you looking for something
more? And you know what? The statistics are irrelevant. And what I'll say is that when a player comes out of college and has a slow get off, and we're going into year 4, and he still has the slow darn get off, there's no improvement. I know what I have with the player, and if you look it up, the last year of Eberflus, the first year of Dennis Allen, the Chicago Bears are bottom 5, at the worst bottom 10 in rushing yards allowed. There is a consistency there. The coaching has changed. The linebackers have changed. The defensive tackle has stayed the same, and it's still a problem.
Well, the defensive line hasn't been the same, though. That's what I'm saying.
I understand that. There's pros and cons to both of this.
But
let me drop the seed off before I let you guys take it from there, okay? Jordan Vandenberg, today, during his interview, he was asked about the veteran presence and what he's learned from the guys in the locker room. I'll let Jordan Vandenberg tell you the names that have stood out to him. What do I know? Let's let the kid talk.
It was Neville last week that mentioned that coming to this organization was the best thing that could have happened for you. You've kind of drawn a lot of that praise from some of your veteran teammates. What has the experience of kind of learning this team and its culture been like for you?
I mean, it's been awesome. We got some really great veterans in the room, Neville, Street, Grady Jarrett. So just being able to be around them and absorb as much as I can has been such an honor. They got so much wisdom, and they like an extra coach in the room. So just being able to come into an organization where they are older players that I can just lean on and learn the game from has helped me tremendously.
And again, I get it. Javon Dexter's not old, but he is a veteran. And Vandenberg didn't have one gosh darn word to say about the guy. So I think that really that stood out to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
Javon Dexter is in a contract year, and as we all know, NFL players they pretty much have their best season in the contract season. So what happens if he comes out and has, I don't know, let's just go nuts, 10 sacks, blah, 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 blah. Are we going to re-sign him? I say no.
Wow, I guess I don't have as much Devon Dexter, which is weird because I effing hate Florida. I so hate the Gators. So it's just weird that I'm actually defending Dexter here to some degree.
Rocking a hard place, Glynn. Rocking a hard place.
When did we get so PC on BC? You mean you fucking hate him? Florida? You fucking hate Florida? I get it.
I'm trying to work on my karma.
By the way, everyone, 10 minutes we'll be having special guest Alex Brown, Florida alum. I'm just kidding. Kidding.
I got a funny story about Alex Brown. I haven't worked with him. It was well, Alex, when he first was trying to get into being an analyst and what have you, he came to NBC Comcast / NBC Sports Studios, and so he brought his wife, and she was in the back. I was on camera, and so she's behind the camera people, and we're just having a pleasant conversation while Alex is making his pleasantries. He's getting mic'd up to be on set, and so my friends know how much I effing hate Florida, right? And so they started going in on me, and I was like, "Fuck Florida," and I just went off, right? And she went, "Oh my God." I think she's Cubana, and she's like, oh my God. She's like, Alex, baby. He hears his wife in distress, like, what? He's 6'5", 270 something. Turns around, like, what? And she's like, he's back here bad mouthing our school. He's back there. He's like, he's doing what? And so I had a moment where I'm like, am I gonna punk out? Or am I gonna stand on business? And so I'm like, I'm just gonna give my ass. I'm like, yeah, I said it, and I'll say it again, And then he looked, and then they said, don't mind him. He went to Tennessee, and he went, oh, okay, I get it. He's like, all right, whatever, dude. But Alex, real good dude, fast friends, and I always like giving the business when Tennessee beats Florida. Anyway, that being said,
hell of a football player for the Chicago Bears, Glenn.
Yes,
please continue.
Devon Dexter, I do think the lack of continuity next to him, I think, is affecting him. Just like I think when Tooney came here, you saw that whatever left tackle was next to him was pretty competent last year. And I think it makes a difference. If you have that person next to you that is that stalwart veteran, someone that's, above average, I think it can help your game. And I think he hasn't been able to rely on that. And it's been affecting him because even though Sweat may be next to him, the interior is what he has to contend with, and I think it's delayed some of his development. That being said, I want to say I think he had like around did he have about 6 sacks last year? 6.5 sacks?
There's a really small chance I still have this. I'll try and find it. I actually have a stat comparison between Jalen Carter, Devon Dexter.
They're not the same guy.
I understand that as well, but I'm just saying, right? Eye test says one player's clearly better than the other. One just got paid handsomely. The stats would suggest that they're on par at the very least.
Yeah, so I think another thing too, that it's like the system he came from at Florida, which was they weren't utilizing him the right way, and he's had 2 or 3 different defensive coordinators since he's been here. So those things can affect a player's growth, particularly when there are aspects of their game that they have to adjust when it gets to the NFL level. I'll say this, man. I think he's a sound player. No, he's not the straw that stirs the drink, but I think he's a sound player. And I think you'll see a good Devon Dexter this year. I think he'll get anywhere between 6.5 to maybe 8.5 sacks potentially. Well, I think his pressures need to be up, and that's fine because the Bears, hear me out right quick. Hopefully the Bears, because of what their offense can do and the amount of pressure placed on other teams, because the Bears should be scoring more than usual, than we've been accustomed to, may make it so that there's less they have to contend with and make the other team a little more one-dimensional. And I think that may play into that defensive line's athleticism. If those guys that Jordan mentioned can be healthy enough and they have that veteran leadership, I think you'll see a situation where the Bears defense can be more effective. I'm not saying they'll be great. I'm not saying they'll be top 10, but a lot more effective in terms of what they're doing, in terms of creating, applying pressure, maybe even stunting a little bit more, because that's a timing thing and a rhythm thing as well. So just give it a beat. Give it a beat.
Somebody said in chat here, like, Carl, go compare the stats to Devon Dexter compared to Jalen Carter. And I think you might have just pulled that up, because actually Devon Dexter's stats are better than Dexter.
They're not.
Than Carter's.
And I think that this is the telltale sign, because it's really easy to see that number underneath the column that says sacks, right? 6 sacks in 2025 for Jervon Dexter, only 3 for Jalen Carter. Wow, Howie Roseman, what an idiot. Go get on Madden, dude. Get out of here. No, that's not the story whatsoever. I mean, look at the rookie year, even through now. The rookie year stands out amazingly. It's almost identical, right? Same amount of games played almost, same amount of starts, except Jalen Carter has twice as many pressures.
But who's he playing with? You know, like look.
That is the, and I didn't want to cut you off for the 5th time, but that is the thing, right? Like it's really easy for a guy who has those problems from Georgia to be a little bit better off the field when you have your college teammates follow you to the pros. But let alone having a very good player playing directly next to you that you already have the rapport with, and then the human's name is escaping my name. He's fantastic, Jordan Davis. That's a hell of a football player that the Bears simply do not have.
Can I please pause you for a second? Evie Berdon Davis, what's up, Evie baby? Says, I'm so glad to have caught this with my all-time favorite journalist, Glynn.
There you go.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much. You
have to watch this more, Evie, because Glenn is our most tenured guest, going on like 20 plus appearances on this channel. He's a good friend of mine, a good friend of the channel, and it's awesome to have him tonight. I'm glad to see you in our chat tonight, Evie. Love you, baby, Evie, baby, and bear the fuck down. Awesome. SCC Scott joining us tonight too. So thank you for joining us, SCC. Listen, guys, really quickly, I want to switch gears here and talk about the groin injury to a guy that we thought was going to take the NFL by storm this season, Luther Burden Jr. And I'm gonna have to pull myself after I say this, but I just want to point out that, like, if you have a hog like that between your legs, of course it's going to give you a problem with your fucking groin. Like a hog like that is going to definitely give you groin injuries. Maybe we should be more worried about him. Glenn pulls himself.
Yeah, my internet's on the fritz, guys. I'm having internet issues.
We're all out of here. What?
Bueller. Oh my God, Bueller. On. Oh my God. Let's reset, everyone. Reset. Must have been the wind, Glenn. Must have been the wind.
Oh, and I right for the first time that I do that, I get Alicia. You know Vernon, our one of our
no
guests.
Way. That's Vernon Roseman's wife.
That's his daughter.
Oh my God. That's okay. Okay.
Never seen her on the channel before, ever, and of course I show that. And
From the top
I posted that on Twitter, and everyone just replied, gay, 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 gay.
My God. So you mean to tell me this is the center of entertainment at the Roseman household, and that's what Dan reverts to? This is insanity. Hey, I apologize.
We should be worried about more groin injuries, guys. I mean, when you have 15 pounds hanging between your legs, you got to, it's something to worry about.
Here, let's pivot to a serious conversation.
Yes, please.
And if Glynn wants to take this a different direction, by all means. But that injury to Luther Burden is serious. And I want to say something that I don't even know if it's controversial anymore. I think losing Luther Burden would be a bigger blow to this offense than it would be Rome Odunze.
Me too.
It is.
By a substantial amount.
It is.
I agree.
Because he's your run after catch guy. He's getting better and better with his rapport. The versatility of him being able to maneuver between X, Y, and Z. So yeah, it's
how many times have you guys heard the term runner's ball? I've heard the term runner's ball during these interviews in this training camp probably 15 times from 12 different humans. I mean, the whole team is focused on runner's ball, run after the catch. The best player that you have in your roster, I'm not going to say the best player in the NFL. He's getting close. Luther Burden is that guy, man. He was supposed to be a top 5 overall pick before the last year that he played in college. PFF had this way too early mock draft where they had him. This is a special football player. And this has nothing to do with Rome Odunze. I love the player. My girlfriend would be the first to tell you I annoyed the shit out of her when they drafted Rome Odunze. I was so elated literally jumping up and down screaming like I won the lottery. But man, Luther Burden's a different dog. And if he's not available to this football team, I have a much less optimistic outlook on this entire season.
Me too.
It's still early. It's
very
still
down
early.
about that.
That's fair.
And
the voice of reason.
And there's a lot in terms of players' ability to bounce back these days that's way better than it has been, years past.
I got to pee.
And I'd rather him have this injury earlier than later, before the season. So, yeah, I'm not worried about him in that regard. I'll be worried if, second week in September, he's still slow to get back. You know what I mean? Then I'm a little more worried because at that point, I'm like, this is just going to be a nagging injury. But if he can be 85, 90% by the time the season begins and they just utilize him judiciously, and then they're very smart with how they implement him and don't ask him to do so much and don't have him, be in situations where, he's, kind of maybe compromising, his health, so to speak, like having him do a lot of 9 routes, you know what I mean? Something where he doesn't have to, maybe do as many again, with the growing, because I've had one in the past, it all depends. Like, I don't know how much more he's affected with his lateral quickness. I would imagine that's definitely going to suffer a lot, but it could be one to where when he tries to stretch out in terms of, extend his legs, it could be something that is there. So I don't know at what level, what degree, what gradation that the injury is, but I have faith that, because he had a little soft tissue injury last year too, so I have faith that he'll get back. He'll be all right. And again,
he's a dog. He should be able to recover, right? I was going to say the only input I have on the whole thing is that normally with call it a lower body injury, if the guy's really hurt, he's got a limp. Luther Burden, the day after he sustained the injury, no limp. So again, maybe he's doing a good job to hide it. But I think that, again, a younger player, already very gifted physically, I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine too. And here's the thing with the Bears. I mean, as long as Loveland's still not, as long as he's healthy and you still got Komet and Khalif Raymond, I know he's not, the bee's knees, but you have a veteran receiver who knows the offense, you know what I'm saying? So the utilization, guys will know where to be is my point. They'll know where to be. And whether or not, so instead of jumping out, scoring 35 points, maybe you're scoring 24, 25, but you're still able to be effective. And you just have to utilize your weapons, man. And the Bears have a lot of potential weapons on hand. And so I'm not worried August 13th, so
maybe more importantly, the head coach is still there, right? It would take a very serious act of misfortune, like what did transpire in San Francisco, for the head coach to not be available, right? So again, guys like Jade Walker, I don't know if you mentioned Jade Walker, he for me is more of a 1-for-1 replacement for Roma Dunze. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but again, Luther Burden's a player who, if he's gone, I'm missing what he has.
Yes.
Ben Johnson's the guy who I think could still scheme up a very comparable, competent game plan nonetheless.
He's St. Brown.
This is a run. Yeah, that's exactly who we can compare him to.
Yeah, he's our he's our St. Brown. It's no mystery. I mean, when you look at what Johnson's been doing, it's like, oh, okay, this guy's Laporta. Okay, this guy's him. Okay, this guy's this guy. So, and it may not look exactly the same, but there are a lot of parallels. There are way more parallels than there are things that are disparate. So, yeah, I here's the thing. And I've been thinking about it all season. It's like all off season, even going back to last year. The thing that I feel the best about, aside from the personnel upgrade and what have you, is the coaching staff as a whole.
Yeah.
This coaching staff to me is one of the best in the NFL because they do problem solve real time. They work well with one another. The energy that the head coach has established and provides consistently is something that everyone can feed off of. But by the same token, everyone's trying to not just match it, they're trying to, excel and exceed beyond where they were the week before. It's like they're relentless. And this is a relentless coaching staff. And I feel good in some respects that Bieniemy is maybe it'll be an OC somewhere else. But I hated losing Bieniemy because, again, it's that same kind of accountable energy and that relentlessness that he always brings wherever he's been, that is no longer here. But I think they asked Munungai about it not too long ago.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I still kind of hear, but in my head, which is a good thing.
Do you think that DeAndre Swift exceeded your expectations last year?
No, he didn't exceed it.
Wow.
He matched what I thought he would do. Because again,
did you have high expectations?
I go back to, because I'm a big college guy, and so I remember him at Georgia, and I always thought I said, man, when the Lions got him, I was like, shh, I know this guy's going to be good. He's going to cause problems, and I think at some point, or I don't know if because his health was kind of off and on a little bit when he was with Detroit, so I think
absolutely.
I think they moved on to try and get someone a bit more, stay healthy longer or whatever the case might be. But he's been successful wherever he's been, and so his first year here with us, to me, it was more of a byproduct of the things around him as opposed to him. And I think to some degree, some of it was he wasn't running the daylight, or he wasn't, taking up field as much. He was kind of bouncing it. But it's like there was no trust there. Things have to work in concert. Football is such a concert-oriented situation. If you don't have a good maestro, you can have great, tools out there and great equipment. But if no one knows how to coordinate it, it's going to sound discordant. And that's what we saw prior to Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson is that maestro. And there was a lot of harmonious play between the offensive line, running back, the running game. We saw that develop, especially the Philadelphia game and nothing else. We saw it, really hit its stride then. And everything kept progressing. You saw with the young guys being able to come up and be able to play. A lot of that's coaching, because it's not easy to be a rookie to come in and to contribute, let alone contribute in significant games, let alone contribute in significant games where we're depending on you.
Many rookies did. That was the best part about that.
Shout out Colston Loveland.
Everybody.
Yeah, many.
Anangai, Colston Loveland, Trapillo. And that's a lot of that's credit to the coaching staff.
Absolutely.
Even down to the guard, what's his name? Newman, coming in for a game and a half, playing well. I mean, that was one of the best drafts I can remember in a long time. And I'm hoping that this next one is the same. I mean, I was listen. You guys have been talking the whole fucking time. Give me a second here. Everyone was talking about even my buddy Brian called me on day 2 of the draft. So we're going defensive tackle, right? We're going defensive end. I'm like, no, Marty Booker is the answer. Nobody's thinking about him. Shamar Turner coming back is the answer. Nobody's thinking about that. They know what they have in their team. I would not be surprised if they do not draft a defensive tackle, defensive end at all in this draft. And then lo and behold, the final pick, they take Vandenberg, and look what he's doing. And it's like, to your point, Carl, like we talked about it during the draft live, when it was like, this kid kind of reminds me of Mongo, man. I don't know what it is.
I'm not going to take any credit for that. That player was a player who I looked at the player. For the record, he is only 6 months younger than Gervon Dexter, okay? And he's a rookie.
He's older.
Gervon Dexter has 33 starts in the
yeah.
NFL, okay? So here's my point. Couldn't cut the cheese at Penn State. Then he got older, and at another college, as a grown man against younger men, he was able to get himself drafted at the very end of the draft, okay? So I'm not going to say, man, Jordan Vandenberg, I've been in on him since day one. My affinity for him is really paired with my disaffinity for Gervon Dexter. The thing is, though, is that as a rookie, maybe it's just because you got a weak room, you're earning first-team reps. You got a crowded room at defensive tackle where you need to figure out what defensive tackles you even want to keep on your roster, man.
He is flexing guys like WWE style.
Right, and he's doing that to undrafted free agents, right? We all love Caden Barnett, the Vanilla Gorilla. Fantastic. He's not going to make this roster. He's not going to make this roster.
I disagree with you. Caden Barnett is one of those guys I foresee as replacing Tooney when he retires.
Just like Bill Murray, right? Everyone looks good in short spurts. We need the long duration, okay? So again,
Bill Murray never got the opportunity, though.
Bill Murray got the opportunity against
and he played well.
The Panthers.
He played so well that we did a whole all 22, all talking about every single play that he did.
Again, that one sample size is enough to put that player in the Hall of Fame from our point of view. But he isn't even on an NFL roster, to my understanding. So my point here is this. If Jordan Vandenberg, in a room that desperately needs help, is standing out and forcing you to say, okay, you're so good, you're going to go with the 2s. Wow, you're so good, you're going to go with the 1s. My philosophy is either split the reps with Jervon Dexter on Saturday or have them line up next to each other. The best man wins and gets that job. If Jervon Dexter's left packing, I genuinely don't care. I just want the best football players on my team. And out of all these, I'm not going to say Jacks, all these guys, these young men that we drafted, Jordan Vandenberg's the one I have the most hype for.
I agree with you.
It's early.
I know
it is early.
Listen, you're talking to like the single most homer on this entire network. You know, like I fall in love with players. I fall in love with teams. I've always listen, Glenn. I have predicted the Bears to become the first team to win 3 Super Bowls in a row, and they're going to top that with 4. They're going to become the Buffalo Bills. Only they're going to win all of them. That's what I thought about the Bears going into this season. Now the fucking injuries we're talking about makes a difference. However, like to your point, coaching matters. Coaching matters, man. It is. We saw last year with all the cornerbacks going down, and boom, we had 12. We lost 12 turnovers last year to the guys that have left the team. They're off the team right now, and we have to rely on guys that are not even on the team to replace those 12 turnovers that we had.
19.
Oh, I'm sorry, 19. So, but to the point of coaching matters, man. Like Al Harris, oh God.
Enjoy him for one more year because he may be gone after this year.
Well, they wanted to pluck him this year, but he decided to stay. Like kind of like Ben Johnson decided to stay because he wants to. Listen, let me ask you this question, Glenn. You're the hottest coaching candidate leading into the next season to become the head coach. Do you want to go to the Browns, who don't have a quarterback or who have a ridiculous quarterback scenario? You might actually be able to do something with Deshaun Watson or with Shedeur Sanders. But let's say just pick some random shitty team that has no quarterback future, and you have to rely on that. Would you rather ditch the team that you are on? Let's talk about Josh McDaniels in this case, right? Josh McDaniels, he left twice to become a head coach, kept going back to New England and won Super Bowls, and went back to a Super Bowl again with Drake May last year because he's an offensive coordinator. Know your role, right? So, my question to you: would you rather leave to go to a shitty team that has no foreseeable quarterback or not even the first pick in the draft with a quarterback that you can pick that you can hopefully do something with? Or would you rather just stay with the team that you're at to keep just winning Super Bowls, man? Or constantly being in the playoffs?
Well, it all depends on what your goals are. And if your goals are just, I think sometimes we can't intersperse what we think is important with what another person's professional aspirations may be.
Goals, right. It's all about goals.
So for him, head coach may be something that he wants, but I would like to see him as a DC first, And to your question, though, picking where to go, it is important. I think definitely when you're the head person, because, there's a lot more on your plate, a lot more that you have to figure out in terms of your coaching staff and all that. As a DC, there's not as much staff-oriented stuff that you have to coordinate in terms of who your coaches are going to be. Some of that's left to the head coach and who else he wants to have on his staff. So for him as a DC, I would like for him to take that route first so that he can get that experience as far as being a coordinator before you jump into a head coaching position that you may or may not necessarily be ready for, because what it entails is a big difference from being a position coach to being the head coach as opposed to being a coordinator. Because I think even Canellis, when he left the Bucks, was just 1 year as an OC. I was like, man, he left real soon, and now he's with the Panthers. He seems to be doing a pretty decent job. And I thought the young man, is it Mike McDonald? Not Mike. Is it Mike? The one that's with who was coaching the Dolphins? Now he's the OC for the Chargers. He was just like a a running game coordinator. So I thought it was maybe a little bit of a big jump to go from being that specific position coach to being a head coach. And they had a decent year or so, but there's a whole different element, man, when it comes to, orchestrating and coordinating your entire organization. There's a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of people that have to respect what you do, what you say, how you say, when you say it. And not just the players, but also the other coaches that are on your staff. So I think he had Fangio for 1 year, and Fangio was like, yeah, this kid's too kooky for me. So that lets me know that maybe he wasn't quite ready in terms of being that head coach. Yeah. That's going to be the winning head coach that you need going forward. Now, maybe the second time he's got that experience, though. So next time he goes around, hopefully whatever he learned from his experiences being a Miami Dolphin head coach, next time he gets an opportunity, take advantage. But I don't necessarily say I think to your point, knowing your place or knowing that you're just an OC or a DC or whatever, I think that comes after you've made that attempt a couple of times to be a head coach. You have to at least see, give yourself that chance. Because Fangio, he's resigned now. He's like, okay, I had my shot at it. I'll be a DC. The guy that's the DC for the Chiefs, he's like, yeah, I'm not going to go anywhere else. I'm good. I don't need to be a head
coach. Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen may be that guy. That's one reason when the Bears did pick him up last year, I was ecstatic in a lot of ways. I'm like, oh, good. He's not going anywhere anytime soon because he's been a 2-time failed head coach. He's not getting any younger, but he might still have one more left in him. So he still has something to prove that he may, he's not burnt out yet. We got him at a good time. The thing with the Vikings, why I find the Vikings to be so dangerous going forward is because both the head coach, who's also the offensive coordinator, and the DC are very young, and neither one of them is going anywhere anytime soon. Flores isn't because no other NFL team at this point is going to hire him. I think he still has some litigation against the NFL, or if he doesn't, they're going to hold that litigation he had against him. So he's not going anywhere anytime soon. And we're seeing what happened with the Lions. The OC left and the DC left, and they're still trying to find out who they really are. They're very talented, and they're going to still be good, and the continuity head coach is going to keep things in place, but they're not as effective as they were when both Glynn was there and when Johnson was there. And with the Packers, we've seen that defense has been somewhat inconsistent, and they're on their third defensive coordinator in the last 3 years. So there is something to be said for continuity, consistency. When it comes to Harris, he's a great position coach. I think we're looking for that spot to be that DC, and hopefully, the Bears will have somebody in mind to replace him as a position coach. But it's a little bit, I won't say easier, but the ramifications of replacing a position coach isn't necessarily as drastic as when you have to replace an OC or a DC or a head coach.
But you didn't answer the question. Would you, if you were in the position that you were on a winning team that was winning, and you had an opportunity to become a head coach to go to a team that did not have a quarterback or a chance at a quarterback, much like the Bears have been for so long, do you think you would leave the winning organization to make $4 million more a year?
I don't think that the quarterback is the end-all be-all in terms of why I should take a job or not take a job. The reason why I say that is because
you're still going to make $4 million more. It doesn't matter whether you win or lose, right?
Not really worried about the money so much. I want to be successful. If I'm if you're asking me about me, if I want to be a head coach somewhere, I want to put myself in the best spot possible. Obviously, everyone does to be successful. I don't want to just take any job. But then again, a lot of times you don't know when those opportunities are going to come by. And, so there's only 32 of these positions, so, do you take the Cardinals job? Like,
yeah, I don't know about that.
But, you have some draft picks and I think you
got some nice weather.
Get some great weather. I think here's the thing. I think you take those jobs that are really questionable if you can potentially set yourself up with some assurances like, hey, am I going to get a solid 3 years? You look at Aaron Glynn. It's like the Jets job. Like, oof.
Well,
there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent there, and you might need a quarterback. But here's the thing: in today's free agency market, a lot of these quarterbacks become available. I mean, just look at last year. If Daniel Jones doesn't go down, the Indianapolis Colts make the playoffs. We don't know
for
how
sure.
much more. We don't know how much more different they might have looked with the Colts in the playoffs.
For sure.
Sam Darnold. They both were on the Vikings, and they both left the Vikings, and they both went to teams that were, one went Super Bowl, and one was on the track to being a playoff. One was on the track to maybe hosting, a playoff game. That's
and Darnold left the Jets. Yeah, Darnold's career got derailed by the Jets because of mono. And they never gave him the chance after that because it took him a while to come back from that shit.
His career got derailed because the Jets were horrible. A horrible organization.
Well,
and the head coach at the time, he's a former Bears offensive coordinator. The head coach at the time was god awful too. So my saying is that what I'm trying to say is that you can take a job in today's NFL. You don't know what quarterback might be available for you in free agency. And that can make a bit of a difference. Because if you would have said, hell, you go back just last year. I don't think anybody thought that Seattle was going to go to the Super Bowl. They weren't even sure.
Win it. Yeah.
Right, much less win it. They weren't certain if they were even going to be, a winning team because it's not an easy division. You going in, the Rams and the 49ers are going to be, teams that you have to compete against.
Yeah.
So I think it all depends on where you go. So that's why I say the quarterback is not the end all be all to me. It's like what else is in place. What are the contracts are in place? How young is my roster? How veteran laden is my roster? How accomplished are the coaches? What coaches can I get to come with me? Those are a whole bunch of other things that I need to look into before. Well, the coaches that I want are on contracts and they can't get out of them until next year. So maybe I wait another year and I'm having that conversation like, hey, you know what? You're not okay. I know there'll be a spot open. A few teams have me on their short list. You want to come with me if I get a head coaching job? Are you out of your contract with, the Seattle Seahawks? Cool. Come with me. You know what I mean? So there are a lot of factors that go into it. I don't think it's just as simple and as easy as who's the quarterback or do we have access with a top 3 pick to get a quarterback?
Fair enough. Let's switch subjects because Ron Renarski is asking the elephant in the room question. What do you all think of Kyler Gordon? And can I just start off by saying what I would like the Bears to do with Kyler Gordon is sit him until he is healthy, and that might be mid-season before the trade deadline, and then trade him for whatever you can get, a 6th-round pick. I don't give a shit. To me, personally, as a Bears fan, I am done with Kyler Gordon. Yeah, it's this, and he played the last 2 games of this, or however many games to end the season last year, and he got picked on by Jordan Love of all people, and we barely won that game because of Caleb. And then he played better in the second half. They really didn't play him the first half against the Rams. They played him more in the second half. They sat him deliberately because of that. He played better in the second half. And then he has an off season and he comes back injured. I don't understand how that happens. It doesn't make sense to me, Glenn. So to me, I'm saying sit the kid, get him healthy, trade him for whatever the fuck you can get for him. Just add another draft pick to next year's draft.
I don't hold a player being injured, or if you even want to say injury prone, unless there are things that he's doing, counter to trying to get on the field, like he has a horrible, regime off the field and stuff. Some guys, if your body is breaking down on you, it's breaking down. Sometimes you're in a spot where just some bad luck happens to you. I'm not for trading Gordon this year. I think the Bears are in a position where they can do some things, and if they have enough people who know what to do and understand their role, I think you need to rock with them. If you want to move on from them after this year because the injuries just persist, I understand that, but I'm not going to dislike a player or hold it against him because he's trying hard. I mean, that's just me, and I'm not knocking anybody who feels that way. It's just I have a hard time to hold it against a player, like say for example, like Daniel Jones. Do you think these guys want to get hurt? No. Can get a broken collarbone? Okay, then your knee goes. I mean, it's like sometimes it's like fuck. I mean, these guys they're way more frustrated than we are. Trust.
But it's.
And you're talking about a position that it's an important position, but
I understand what you're saying, but
it's not like I'm going to hold the wins and losses against Kyler Gordon.
I understand what you're saying, but availability is the best of what's the slogan? The best availability.
Best ability is availability.
Right, correct. So like when you and this is this is the thing that drives me the most crazy, Glenn. You're in a contract year. You play well. You are not injured. You ball out. You get a big contract. You don't play again. And we've seen that happen so many times. The ones that get the big contract and then they ascend from there, and their availability is their best ability, is that those are the ones that become, the Hall of Famers, the superstars, the ones that all of a sudden now you played the last couple of games of the last season. You have an off season. You stub your fucking toe. You come back in, and now you can't play for 6 weeks. Like, what did you do to yourself that you can't play now?
I think you're being unfair, and because
I might be, but I'm pissed off about this.
Well, I mean, why?
because like I said, it's you. Like Javon Dexter. Let's just say Javon Dexter had 16 sacks this year, right? And so he did. We're talking about the whole first half of the show, and now let's say this season he has 20 sacks, and so we pay him the big money, and then he has a calf injury, or he has a hamstring injury, or his elbow hurts and he can't play for a year and a half or 2 years.
Are you holding that against him because you think he's sloughing off, or are you holding an injury that he had no control over against him?
I think that the players who are players, they ball out. Everyone plays through injuries, man. Everyone plays through injuries. It's a matter of how large you decide that injury is in your own personal life. So
I don't agree with that.
No, I totally.
So Trapillo, you're going to blame Trapillo because he has some kind of crazy ass injury? You're going to blame Bo Jackson? You're going to blame Bo Jackson because he got tackled and now he's got a degenerative hip?
Those are major injuries, though. These are not major injuries to Kyler Gordon. They are soft tissue bullshit injuries. It's not like he blew his knee out. It's a different story. Like, yeah, you blow out your knee. Well, then of course you can't blame Ozzie for his knee getting blown out on that play. You can't blame the Packers defensive end that they traded for getting his blowing out his knee. That's a major injury. But I have a calf injury. Oh, I have an elbow injury. My throat hurts.
Well, okay. I mean, you're being a little disingenuous. He didn't say his throat hurt.
I know, but I'm saying, like.
But his calf injuries aren't small things. Those things can lead to Achilles situations. And we've seen that even on the basketball court, where you have an Achilles strain. Next thing you know, a guy comes back. In basketball, I mean, they do sit out. You know, if there's any sport that would probably annoy you, it'd be basketball guys, because they sit out with I forget what they call it. So
Evie has seen me in many chats bitching about Kyler Gordon, and she's like, "Shorty, it's like you have a personal beef with Kyler." No, it's not. It's like I have a personal beef with people who,
if he's not training,
who signed the big contract and never fucking play again.
But signing the big contract. It's football. It's a risk reward situation. I mean, here's the thing with football. I think those guys should probably have more guaranteed contracts than what they do get, because it is such a difficult sport, and you're putting your body on the line. And at any point in time, you can have a serious enough injury where you could be paralyzed. Remember Johnny Knox? Remember that injury he took?
Oh, yeah. Terrible. Yes, I can't even rewatch it. I can't even watch it.
I'm saying, like, you never know with football what can happen. I remember Wendell Davis. He was jumping up to catch a ball, and his feet didn't leave the turf, and his body separated the patellar tendon tears on both knees at the same time. So, and I know you're talking those are major injuries, but even with certain soft tissue injuries, because of what you do, and by what you do, I mean not you, but what that player, how he may play that position, there's a lot of agility that's involved in being a nickelback. There's a lot of starting and stopping. He plays very physical. He plays, when he's out there, he's playing with abandon. He's playing as hard as he can. So it's not like he's attacking things softly. It's not like he's trying to get by or anything. So I'm not going to be mad at him because his hard work was rewarded with the contract that they felt he earned, and now he's injured. It's unfortunate, and that's part of what happens in football. And every team goes through this. There are certain players there. You look at Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose had seemed like conceivable injury. The guy was like a walking mash unit. But it's not because he didn't try hard. It wasn't because he wasn't stretching. It wasn't because he wasn't doing all the things that he could possibly do to get himself.
But he wasn't doing backwards fucking Spider-Man flips before the.
That's not what he's getting injured for.
Yeah, but if you have all these injuries that are related to your calf and your hamstring and your elbow and this and that, well, stop fucking jumping backwards and doing Spider-Man flips on the field.
If you get injured doing that, feel free to scream at him at that point. Carl Heinz, Dramatica, when he jumped up in the air and he hurt his knee.
Could it be that it adds to it, though? Could it be that it adds to it?
I think we're overspeculating.
He could be stressing his calf out or his groin when he's flipping backwards to land in a Spider-Man pose. You never know. That could be the problem. It could be.
No, if you're Cam Scatterbull and you just got off of an ankle surgery and then you do a flip in not
so what you're saying? So wait,
on stage for no effing reason, and then you slip. Yeah, that's stupid. At that point, I'd be pissed at a player that does knucklehead stuff like that. But no, it's many times, man.
But like what Scrolls is saying, if you're gonna not be available most of last season, and you're not available to start this season, and you're gonna come out doing that Spider-Man flip shit when you come out of the gates, well, stop that shit, because we don't even want to know what that could be. That honestly, Glenn, it could be contributing to it. You're forcing your leg muscles to go this and backwards. Now you got to flip yourself in the air and land on, and you got to land that Spider-Man pose. That could easily be adding stress to his feeble muscles that are causing a future injury that he's getting paid to not play for.
Yeah, I disagree. We can just stop.
You and I always respectfully disagree. Every time you come on the show, I say I zig, you zag. I'm like, fuck, I'm ready for you. And then fuck, yeah, you get me like, shit, now we're going to now I'm forced to agree with you, as I always have to do, because you're such an amazing.
You don't have to agree with me. I don't put it on that. No,
I'm prone to agree with you because I truly respect you and your view and your perspective on things. So you're gonna naturally gravitate me towards your perspective because I appreciate and I respect your views and your perspective. So if that's what if you think that, then that's fine. I'm going to agree with you.
I'm not saying I'm right. I just think differently about it, and it's unfortunate that he continues to be injury laden with injuries, and hopefully going forward that we had the same thing with Brisker. Am I going to blame Brisker because he plays physically and he gets concussions? No. I'm not going to blame him for that, But by the same token, I realize I may not be able to sign you next year because you're one hit away from having a concussion again and being out for a considerable amount of time or more damage. I definitely don't want to see you have a brain aneurysm on the football field. I mean,
of course, we've
seen in the last couple of years some serious injuries where guys on the football field were like, "Oh, you're holding your breath," kind of stuff. I can't remember the guys. I think he played for the Bills. He had the heart issue on the football field. And I think when they were playing the Bengals, those things are scary. So no, I don't think these guys are trying to get hurt. I don't think they're trying to be reckless or irresponsible for the most part, especially when they're being injured while on the field. Again, the Scatterbull thing. The Scatterbull thing is the thing that I would pull to the side. I'm like, you can't be doing, or like you're riding a motorcycle and you're the starting quarterback and you're riding a motorcycle without a helmet. It's just
Evie,
like no.
Evie, please don't leave yet, because I'm about to wrap this conversation up by saying I was just about to include you in this, Evie, that Evie has been on me in our chats, about Kyler, and to your point, I should not be like this. I should be more optimistic. I shouldn't be so upset about these things, because these kinds of things happen. So Evie, please don't leave yet. Before I conclude with this, please, unless you're gone already. Because I love Evie, and I haven't seen her in our chat for a while, and I'm so happy she's here tonight. So if you're still here, Evie, please respond in chat, and so I can respond to you, because I really do want to apologize to you.
I'll say this.
I don't mean to be that way. I really don't.
I'll say this, and part of it was what you were saying, and also what Scrolls just had written. Yeah, if Gordon comes out and he does his theatrics again, and he has a similar injury, you do have to call in a question like, okay, young man, we need you on the field. Try to go away from doing this stuff, even if it's not the reason why it's happened. It just, the optics don't look good. So I'll go with you on that. The optics of that don't look good if you're continuing to do something and you're having a lower leg injuries. The optics don't look good. I don't necessarily think that that's the reason per se. I think the stress and the straining of starting and stopping and whatever he does to make this plays on the field. I think some people's bodies just don't hold up, guys. It's just football. You may have peaked in college in terms of what your body can handle, and everybody's body can handle football. It's a whole different kind of stress level. It really is.
I agree. And then to Evie's point, I know she's been trying to get me to be optimistic about this in many different chats, and I apologize to you, Evie. I know you're still here because of Glynn. Glynn is the shit. Glynn is the man, and you are the shit, Glynn. I want to switch gears now and get off this subject, and I want to talk about the preseason.
Don't care about it.
Yeah, come on, come on. This is a matter of getting to watch the players that we don't get to see normally, and we get to see what we have on our team, right? With our depth, right? So. And to Cliff Victoria's point, he keeps asking me, "Are you excited to talk to see Bajent this weekend?" And I'm going to be honest, I am. I am a little bit excited to see Bajent play. I don't expect to see Caleb Williams at all in this game. I'm expecting to see a lot of Bajent, and the more Bajent, the better, because the higher his draft stock grows, and then perhaps. We trade him for X.
Trade everybody.
We trade. Well, he's. This has been my philosophy for years, though, Glenn. It's not just like Bajent. No. It's been like
I get it. It's what the Packers did. It's what the Packers did.
Draft and develop quarterbacks and trade them. The Patriots did it with what's his name? They traded. He had an 11-5 season after. No, not even Garoppolo.
The guy that took over when Brady got hurt.
Had his knee blown out. They had an 11-5 season. They traded him for a second-round pick or some shit.
Played at USC. Played at USC, but never played at USC.
Right, but yeah, right. And so then they got they drafted Garoppolo with a second-round pick, got a second-round pick back for him. It could have been better, right? A first-round pick would have been better, considering you just swapped a second-round pick for a second-round pick. But you got it in a future draft, so...
I think the Packers did it better, but yes, I agree with you. Packers did it better they had several quarterbacks that went on to lead other teams to playoffs, but they never could get past.
Cassell, Richard Kobe says.
Right. Cassell,
yes, thank you.
For the Patriots.
Thank you, Richard. Yes.
Right. Yeah, but I think the Packers did it better with Burnell and you had Hasselbeck, and then you had Aaron Brooks. And yeah, so I think they did it better in terms of, I say better because those players actually did play well other places they went to. But yeah, I agree with you. But I'm not excited to see Bajent. I'm not saying I'm down on Bajent, not by any stretch of the means. Like I've already seen. I already know what to expect. I've seen Bajent. I already know he is what he is.
Well, no, we're talking about Bajent in the second year of a Ben Johnson offense. We're not talking about Bajent in a second year of a.
I already know what I know what Bajent looks like. You know what he is? You know what he is? He's Jared Goff. Same guy.
Well, his arm isn't as strong.
Maybe not, but I'm sorry, in terms of how he processes.
Okay.
Disseminates the ball. It's gonna look more like Jared Goff than it ever will Caleb Williams.
So you're kind of playing into my.
I agree.
I'm sucking you into this. You're playing right along with it. Jared Goff was the first pick in the draft. So if he can play in the preseason again up to a Jared Goff level, does that raise his draft?
The preseason's not going to raise his draft stock.
I know it doesn't.
Not to the level that you want to get something back. He has to actually play games. that's going to raise his draft stock. So
What
if
about
Caleb, and I don't want Caleb going down so that Bajan's draft stock can go up.
no?
I think right
Knock
now,
on wood. You have some wood. Knock on it. Knock on it. Don't say that. Knock on wood.
I think with Bajan right now, you could probably get a 5th or a 6th rounder, which is still phenomenal considering this guy was, a undrafted free agent from Shepherd. It might as well have been Shepherd High School as far as I'm concerned in Chicago, but Shepherd College. So, and that's phenomenal. If you got anything higher than that, that would be crazy. But I think he would have to play probably 5 to 6 games and be like, 3-2, 4-2, something like that. But putting up 250 yards, 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, but do things that show that he can lead the team, show that he can maybe bring the team and win a game where they're trailing, bring them from behind and win, but just look really good doing it. Yeah. So
Victoria says if Bajan looks good and some starting QB gets injured, his trade value could jump up. That's kind of my point. Like,
sure, but I don't know that someone is necessarily going to trade for Bajan and think he's going to come in and be their starter. I don't think that's being realistic because they haven't seen enough. He's only played 4 professional games, and those weren't the toughest teams in the world.
Yeah, winning record though.
He went 2-2, right? I don't know if he had a winning record. I don't think he just didn't have a losing record. I think he went 2-2.
May have been 2-2.
But that was a couple of years ago with a different whole.
Well, he came in halfway. I was at that game against the Vikings when Justin Fields got injured, and he came in that game. I think we won that game because of him, and then
I don't think they won that game.
Yeah.
I don't think they beat the Vikings that time.
No, you're right. We lost that game. We won the next game against the Raiders with him.
All right. He beat the Raiders. I think he beat the Panthers, I think.
I love your memory. It's because I was at that game, so I even my dumb ass doesn't remember that. But you reminded me that we did lose that game.
Yeah, they beat the Vikings the next time they played them because that's when Fields had the Thursday night game or Thursday or Monday night game, and he thought he lost it off a fumble, but they got another chance and they won it late.
I don't know. I think the kid has. Here's the thing I keep talking to my buddy about, like, why isn't it possible to build more arm strength? And my buddy keeps saying, well, no, he's already jacked. He already came into the NFL that jacked from his CrossFit workouts and stuff. But I'm like, well, if you can work on your lats, like right here, and if you can work on your on this muscle right here into your wrist that can get you to fling it from here to the flick of the wrist to get the ball out of your hand. Couldn't you build more arm strength off of that? I don't know. My buddy says no. You might agree with that. If he's already that jacked, he probably can't. But if he could,
he's good size. I don't think he's like muscle bound or anything like that.
Oh, dude, that guy's jacked.
I guess semantically, jacked to you and jacked to me might be different. He's in shape, no doubt. Yeah, he's in shape.
I know I'm not jacked.
I'm just saying, I don't think he's so muscle bound that's preventing his, any fluidity in his throwing arm or anything like that. Excuse me. I'll say, if anything, probably what you may not be able to increase your arm strength in terms of you can a little bit. I'm certain of that, but I think the velocity is something that you might be able to work on. Like you can get through, your throwing zone a little bit faster, and if you can put a little more on it, maybe the grip of the ball, something to improve the velocity. I think he's never going to be a guy that just throws the ball 80 yards in the air, but if he can throw 25 yards and it gets there faster, that's good enough, So improving their velocity. I think a lot of times people get hung up on how far you can throw it, where in the NFL, it's really how fast can it get there.
Right.
And how accurately and how fast can it get there?
He's definitely not going to run 40 yards backwards and turn around and flick a booger to the end zone like Caleb Williams did last year. That was a booger flip, a booger flick. Like Caleb Williams just went. He was like the fucking Colt Kmet against the Rams, man. That was sick. Bajan cannot do that. He will never be able to do that. That's for sure.
A lot of quarterbacks in the NFL probably couldn't,
no,
or wouldn't even try. Wouldn't even think to try. To be quite honest.
That was
Yeah, that was different. But
let's wrap this up here after this. But I want to before we do, let's talk about that pass.
well, Cole Kmet committed offensive pass interference. Let's just get that out.
Yeah, he kind of did. I agree with you on that.
So can't have to a guy who created.
I
a
was
lot
really worried
of
about
that. Guys don't usually just sit in the corner of the zone waiting for a pass.
Right, wide open like that when the ball's
Right.
floating that far. Like they showed the. I saw the
kudos.
clip. I saw the view from Stacey Dale's phone or whatever, her camera view from Cole Kmet coming at her, and you're like, you can barely see what's going on way down the field, and all of a sudden, Cole Kmet is wide open with this guy like five yards away from him and just catches this ball. I was like, how the hell did that happen? Like that was that moment. I'm not gonna lie. I told you before the show, that I lost my dog a few weeks ago, and I have his picture. So this is his old man picture that I have just sitting here. This is my old man. This is my best friend of all time, and I made a bunch of shorts about him, like, oh, hey Bears, you think you could win the Super Bowl before I'm going on 85 years old? Do you think you could win the Super Bowl this year, Bears? I could really use that, and yada yada. I made a bunch of shorts with him, just like AI with his mouth talking with the Bears hat on, and so it was kind of special to me. We're watching that Rams game, and I have him I've got my feet on the coffee table. He's on my chest, and I'm cuddling him, and I'm kissing him, and then I watched this pass that Caleb Williams threw to Cole Kmet, and I didn't even jump up out of my seat and cheer like everyone else said. I sat there just cuddling him, just kissing him. I started crying. I'm like, you're going to get to see your Super Bowl this year, buddy. You're going to get to see your Super Bowl. It's going to happen this year. It's happening. We're going to win the fucking Super Bowl, buddy. We're going to win the Super Bowl. He goes, I'm like, yeah, we're going to do this. And then we lose that game.
Well, the best seat from doggy heaven, so he'll be in a good spot.
Yeah, so maybe we will win it because he's in doggy heaven.
It's possible. It's possible. Yeah, I think, with Caleb, the guy's not lacking in confidence, and that's a great thing. And I think he has a do-daring attitude, and not everybody will dare to do that, to try and make a pass like that. So. And then at that point, you're losing anyway, so why the hell not?
Yep.
But yeah, I remember when that play happened, and like I said, you're talking. By this point, as a Bear fans, I mean, we should have been really used to it. We've seen so many other spectacular plays, and
well, because after the one that he was running to his left against the Packers, and he flicked that ball to Odunze, after the one that he threw to DJ Moore to win the game. I was like, how is he going to top that? And then he does that. And I was like, we're winning the fucking Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, and it's just beginning. There'll be other great plays to top. So yeah, man, I think everything with the Bears at this point, and I'm not going to pick them to be in the Super Bowl this year. I think that's a lot to ask, considering the defense isn't where we think it could be just yet, on top of the fact that there's some significant injuries already, factoring in how difficult the schedule is going to be, especially on the back half. Now, I will say the Kobe Bryant injury, I don't know how soon he'll be back. Don't want to rush him back. But if he does make it back, let's say by mid-December, might be when we can really use that extra, burst of new energy, because the second half of the season after the bye is going to be a very difficult one. And I think the last 4 or 5 games are a tough stretch. So, even if he's not 100%, just having that additional body, additional juice could be something that can help the team out. I'm not going to say the Bears can't go. I'm not going to put it on them. My expectations aren't for them. 2028 really, or 2027, 2028. So the next 2 years, I expect the Bears to be in that position to where I expect them to go. Like last year, we didn't expect that. I enjoyed it. I'm there for the ride. Hope they would have made it, but no one was expecting that. This year, I'm expecting to see consistency. I want to see this team be able to win double-digit victories again. 10-7 is I wouldn't be pissed at 10-7, especially if you make the playoffs with that. I think it's a very difficult division. The teams are it's probably the most even all 4 teams have been, relatively speaking, at one time that I can recall. And you look at the rest of the NFC, very difficult. You got Super Bowl winner, and they haven't really lost a whole bunch. You look at the Rams, everyone's odds-on favorite to represent the NFC.
You can keep talking. This is for Evie. This is for Evie and Shaq. Keep talking.
Yeah, the Eagles are still in the mix, although again they have a situation where they have to go through coordinators again, have to find another coordinator. You look at here's the team that I'm thinking that if they're in there, I'm not shocked. And that's the Dallas Cowboys. Their biggest issue, I think, 2 of their biggest issues, I think they've done a good job in kind of settling, and that's coaching and on defense. And you look at those 2 guys in the middle, on the defensive tackles, they're going to be a problem for a lot of teams.
2 weeks ago, Glenn, we were talking about how Dak Prescott, by the numbers, and if he was to get himself a Super Bowl ring, is very well on his way to being a Hall of Fame quarterback. So
maybe for
and I don't mean to pivot the conversation. Just that's the type of player that they have, and I think you're bang on here. Yeah,
that offense is going to be top 5 offense, for sure. And their defense is, at least on paper right now, their defense looks to be at least middle of the pack. Their secondary is still a bit of an issue, but their front 7 can generate enough pressure that helps out the secondary. And their offense, again, is going to be something that's going to put pressure on other teams to have to try and score to keep up. And that can make them a little bit more one-dimensional if they're just passing, and lets the Cowboys be able to pin their ears back. And the Giants will be much improved. And you look at the Giants, I mean, they had 7 really, as many games as the Bears won close, the Giants lost close. So,
and they have Harbaugh now as their head coach. That scares the shit out of me.
It doesn't scare me, but it definitely puts an adult in the room and someone who's been there and knows what they're doing. And their defense is arguably a top 10 defense, at least talent-wise. So they're going to be issue. And then no one's talking about the NFC South, and the Bucks still solid. The Panthers, people can say maybe they got lucky in winning the division, but maybe that was a building block for them, and they're them going forward. And you look at the Saints. Saints could be, this season's Chicago Bears. There's a lot of talent on that team, and they've got a pretty good offensive mind there. And their quarterback's going into his 2nd year with some confidence and some talent around him.
Very good offensive playbook in Madden, by the way, Glenn.
Yeah,
can't wait to play you, by the way.
Full circle, huh?
Full circle. So yeah, and then you got 3 teams I think the 49ers, I think, are going to be too beat up, but they still find ways to win because they've got a really good coach and they have a really good system and players who know what they're doing. So the NFC, you got 16 teams. I'd say 10 of these teams are playoff caliber easy. And, of those 10, probably 4 of them are Super Bowl, strong Super Bowl contenders. So that's difficult to contend with, and to expect that the Bears are going to be a team that's going to be,
a Super Bowl winner like I predicted.
11-6,
14-3,
12-5. I mean, look, here's the thing. It's August 13th, and it's mid-August, and so many things can happen. Football is a game of attrition, and when you play a team matters as much as who you have on your team when you play them.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Well, listen, Glenn, you are our favorite guest of all time, man. Listen, PJ is gone for a while, so as much as you would like to join us, we'd love to have you. As long as I know you got a family and a life and all that shit, but you are welcome to join us every single Thursday night at 8 p.m. if you would like to. It's an open invitation, my friend. It's open. You don't have to accept it.
Appreciate that. If the Big Ten Network doesn't have me scheduled during the evening, I should be able to make more than not. But we'll see. I have no idea how these guys are going to schedule me this year, so we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, we'll keep in touch. But I really appreciate you joining us tonight. I know you have a busy schedule, and
open invitation.
Open
invitation. You want to speak? You're going to speak.
Appreciate that.
We got
Don't let that get in the way of me kicking you guys' ass on Madden, though. Don't.
no. I cannot wait to play you on Madden.
Talking it up.
I can make time after hours to play.
Oh, I cannot wait to play you on Madden. We'll exchange our Madden handles after this, and we're definitely going to play. We'll put that on the members only content. You have to become a member to see that stuff.
Yeah, so guys, as we're wrapping up the show here, I think we're wrapping up the show. I've got a lot of comments starred, a lot of you guys saying that you're going to download Madden. I really don't know how to get in contact with you guys outside of here, so I think you guys need to send us an email if you've gotten gamer tag, or if you are on PlayStation, go ahead, just add us right now. You've got the gamer tags on the screen right now, Mr. Shorty, Vitality, add us, and we'll make the magic happen. I'll see after the show today, tomorrow. We'll get that connected franchise set up and see what we can figure out. I was thinking, Shorty, we're going to talk to everyone every Thursday. That should be probably the day we advance the league each week, just because it's like a touch-based situation, right? Yeah. So we'll go live, 8 p.m. Central, Thursday Standard, all the time. And maybe we'll say, hey, once the show's done, I'm advancing the league. That'll be your your last and final call, so to speak. So might spin up a Discord server too. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this Madden stuff. I know we're all excited about Caleb being on the cover, and we're all excited about playing with Caleb being on the cover.
Get your physical copy of the game. If you don't already have the physical copy, I think it came out on Thursday. If you're a degenerate like me, I bought the digital copy. I bought the $100 edition bonus so I could see Caleb doing the incredible Iceman. I'm not even going to use the Ultimate Team garbage that I paid for. I just want the game to look that way. Get your physical copy too. Leave it in the shrink wrap because it's going to be worth millions of dollars. And Sony is not going to produce discs anymore. Get them while they're hot because you're never going to be able to get them again.
Agreed. I did the same thing. I bought the disc copy with him on the Jordan pose, and then I got the digital copy with the Iceman, the extended version, and
nice.
That's what I have been playing on. I cannot wait to play you, Glenn. This is going to be so much fun.
For sure.
What are you doing this weekend? You got some time?
I'm sure I'll be online.
All right. We'll talk offline.
I'm that guy that's when you pop on at like 1 a.m. You'll be like, oh my god.
No shit. You and I have talked at 12:30 in the morning.
Me and Dan doing a 1 a.m. yesterday. I got to be at a client site the next day at 8 a.m. Like, this is probably not a good idea, and I'm pretty young still. Friday night, Saturday night. 4 a.m. We'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens.
Plenty of time to get to work. 1 a.m.
That's right.
Wait, I gotta respond to Evie for the Gordon talk. I am so sorry that I offended you with the Gordon talk, Evie. That's the last thing that I want to do. So
I mean, how many people did he offend? He offended me. He offended PJ. Now PJ is no longer on the show. We brought on Glynn Morgan. He offends Glynn. Draw the line in the sand with Evie. I see how it is.
Why stop there?
Barely. We're so blessed when Evie is in our chat, and I'm so grateful that you have been here tonight, Evie. So thank you so much, and to everyone in our chat, all of our members, Cliff Victoria, Scrolls. We've got Chad Speaker hopping in here. Oh my gosh, Richard Colby. Oh my goodness, Glenn Morgan hanging out in our chat. Vitality hanging out in our chat.
There's STC Scott, Squeegee, R. Lee, Richard Colby, aka Dick Cheese, Evie. You guys are all live in the chat right now. Cliff Victoria. So we appreciate the ever living heck out of you guys.
R. Lee. Let's see. R. Lee was another one I saw there. The Scrolls. Arlie, Richard Colby, Squeegee was hanging out with us tonight. There's so many of you. Armando, Patty, Lara, thank you for joining us tonight. Daniel Brown, thank you for joining us tonight. You guys are all awesome. We love and appreciate you guys. Without you guys, we would not be a channel. So thank you guys all so much. I want to thank you, Glenn, for being you, just as you always are. And hopefully we'll see you more on this channel, maybe with PJ being gone for an extended period of time. So want to thank you guys so much for a great show. Excellent show.
Appreciate you. Give Foster's my best, guys. I'll at you.
We will. And as we always end the show on a ridiculous fashion, on a 1, on a 2, on a tree, Bears.
Normally it only takes like 2 or 3 minutes. It literally took us almost 2 hours for me to play this.
Shit, fuck Green Bay.
I'm out. I got nothing. I got nothing.
We'll see you guys next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Love you guys.
All right,
Peace
folks.
out. Enjoy the preseason game.
Mongo 2.0, Glenn. We'll talk next week. You heard it here first.
For sure.